Right, chaps, back again. What I'm going to be doing today is rebuilding the shock absorbers. I've got the springs have been delivered. I've got the, not the springs. Well, the springs have been delivered. I got them back from the powder coaters. But I've had the little rings delivered. I'll show you one of the rings. These are what I've got to put on the shockies. I've got to put them all back together. But you'll see that in a minute. And you'll see why I've bought these. Because I bought blue ones that were not good. So anyway, I'll do the video on that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rebuild all the shockies. If I can, I'll fit them back into the car, but I've got a lot of stuff to move around. And if I get time, I'm going to start stripping the engine down today. So we're going to take the clutch off, the clutch plate, possibly the flywheel, because I might look at getting the flywheel checked and skimmed just to make sure it's perfect. Take the fuel injectors off as well, the fuel injector rail, but I'll have a look at that and see. It's got to come off anyway, because under the fuel rail and the rocker cover, the rocker gasket, the rocker cover gasket on one side is leaking oil. So one side of it's nice and clean and the other side's piss covered in oil. So I'll clean all that up, put a new gasket in it, new gasket sealer, rebuild that. Everybody's happy. It'll just give me a chance to have a look at the rockers and make sure everywhere in there is nice and clean. But I know the engine's fine, so I'm not doing any work on the internal side of the engine because it's all perfect. So let's say it's all external and a bit of cosmetic. So I will see you in a bit. Don't forget, chaps, share this video around, like, share, leave us a comment. If you like what you see, let me know. If you don't like what you see, let me know. If there's anything in particular that you want to know about, let me know. Leave me a comment, ask me a question. If I can answer it, I will. If I can help, I will. And if I can't, I won't. Tough. But there you go. Leave us a like, leave us a share. Let everyone know. Get the word out that this bloody big car's being redone. I'll see you all in a bit. Back again, chaps. Back again. We've had... Let's get all this rubbish out of my pockets, please. We've had... a delivery I've been waiting on for a while now has come through. Let's put the receipt in the receipt box. Right. These have turned up from Leader. Now, if you've been watching an old video, let me just move this down a bit. You need to see my 6-seat jumper. Right. I ordered a load of rings for the shock absorbers. Yeah, I guess one there, right. That's the old shock absorber lock and ring, right? Now, they screw on like that and they hold the springs in place, right? And when we strip them down, loads of them had corroded and I had to take them off with an angle grinder and a chisel. Basically, I had to cut them off on them. Now, after loads of research, I found out they were by a company called Leader, but not until after I bought all of these off eBay, right? Now they're advertised as 2¼ inch diameter rings, but they're about 4mm too small. And obviously, because I want to send them back and get a refund, the company's not answering any messages. So I've got about 60 quid's worth of shock absorber rings if anyone wants any. So don't need them, they can go back for now. So after doing a bit of research, we found out they were by a company called Leader. A quick Google, found a contact number, and I spoke to a fella down there by the name of Roger. Roger, thank you very much, mate. Your equipment's turned up, and these have turned up in the post. Look, fantabulously sexy, brand new, super gorgeous lock and rings. What I forgot to order off them was a new lock and ring spanner because I'm a dickhead and I forgot. But it's not a problem. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to rebuild the shockies and put them back on the car. And then if I've got time, I'm going to start taking the engine apart. So let's move this down here, where you can see what's going on. Move that wheel out of the way, you don't need that there. There you go. You should be able to see the bench now. So right, let's start. Let's get rid of... I've got a blank one here somewhere. There you go. I've got 2 blanks. So the first thing we'll do is we'll put a tiny little smear of grease on. Nothing major, just enough to lube the threads, because obviously I've got to get these threads all the way down. So they have two different rings, look. Now the spring sits on this one and the bottom one locks up against it. Right, and the springs, as you can see here, they're all powder coated. We'll talk about them a little bit more in a minute. So you've got to put this one on first, because this is the locking ring, so this goes on the bottom. So that should, with a little bit of filling, there you go. That now will just rotate across and winds all the way down to the bottom. Oh, you bastard. And as usual, it's tight. So I was expecting it to be tight, to be honest, because the it had a little bit of paint on it. So it's probably got just a bit in the threads. So if we get our super tool, because there's no pressure on it, it should wind down nice and easy. I thought I was going to stay clean today, which is why I didn't put gloves on. Well, that fucking idea didn't last long, did it? Never mind. So the bonus of putting this first one on is it will recut the threads, and then when it winds it back up to put the tension on, it should go nice and easy. So there you go. See that? So there was obviously a bit of cack there, but I'll clean all that off before I wind the next one down. That's it. The only, it's not a problem, but one thing to be aware of is these little bloody edges are sharp. Not sharp enough that they're going to cut you, but they dig in your hands. And I wouldn't say it hurts, it's just uncomfortable. I suppose if I had a big pair of gloves on, wouldn't be a problem. There you go, that's how it should be. See the way that's just spinning? Alright. So, we're getting there. If I had one of them straps, I could just wrap a strap and uncurl it, and then it goes that easy, but I don't good at anything. Right, so I've got to get this right down to the bottom of the threads, I think. There you go, that should be enough. Right, let's clean these off. So any swarf that's just made can go. I'll put another little dollop of grease on. Again, nothing major, but the bonus of greasing these up is if in the future we want to disassemble this, it will have just that little tiny bit of grease, so it should stop it from corroding together. You know what I mean? Stop it sticking together as well. So there you go. I'll just wipe this grease off my fingers. You can see how easy now that's going on. He says that and then it'll fucking jam up. Told you. Never say this is easy because it just curses you. That is unusually tight. That must be. Just a bit of cash, you know. That's unusually tight, that one. How can two be tighter than the others? Right. No. That's set for one do. That's a handy little gizmo. It's got a square hole in it. Put a ratchet in, and then you've got a more comfortable hand grip than the bare metal thing. You know, just a fucking thing of 10. Definitely need some new C-spanners, because these ones are a little bit past the best. But anyway, I'll do the one. I'll build the one for you, and then the rest of them I'll do on a time lapse. There's no point watching the same thing 4 times over and over again, is there? I've also got to take one of the struts off the front because there's a ring missing on the front, and obviously we just put it back together with one ring on so as I could manoeuvre the car around basically. On the bar, it's still got me little bits of timber, your little wooden shockys for the car that wouldn't go. There you go, that's nice, not loose, that's probably finger tight. Yeah. Okay, so that's the first part. Let's just get that a little bit lower. And then we'll see where we're up to. Right then. Okay, so that bit's done. Next thing I'm going to do, let's just wipe that off, is lift up the piston. Oh, fucking hell. I'll move the camera because you can't really see what's going on. Alright, so there's the piston right up. Now then, the springs. I had these powder coaters by a place in Liverpool, so if you're in the northwest and you want any powder coating done, go to Elite Engineering and Powder Coating. They're on Aisham Road, which is just opposite Aintree Racecourse, for the people who know the area. But look at that, that's like a brand new spring. So if you go back to a few of the old videos, you'll be able to see the difference. If I can, I'll insert a photo of how they used to look before I had them done up. Anyway, that slots on there. If I lower the camera down again, remember I had the little shim on there? That sits inside the shim like that. All sexy. Then, I forgot to clean these. Then this little cap goes on. And I'm looking at it, I'm going to have to raise. Let me just see if I've got any more on this. Yeah, I'm going to have to lower this down a lot more. I thought I might have to be honest. So, you've got to put that cap on. And then once the cap's on, you wind it all back up. And that gives you your rebound and your ride height and stuff, and obviously puts the spring under tension. So that now might be enough to get that in there. Get that with a waggle. There you go. There's the first shocky rebuilt. Now what we do is by winding the rings, let me just lower that down. By winding the rings back up, we can then adjust the ride height for the car and get it set back to where it was. So one thing I've been careful of, and I'll find it, I've got a little digital vernier gauge here somewhere. Right, so if I take anything off that's adjustable, I've been measuring it so that I know when I put it back together, everything's going back pretty much millimetre perfect to the way it was set up. So, oh, you little bastard, that's sharp there, that edge. So by doing it that way, I can be sure that that the suspension, the geometry and everything is going to be more or less exactly the same as it was before we started work. I mean, it's got to go through a 4-wheel alignment sensor anyway and be redone. And again, if you're in Liverpool and you need your 4-wheel alignment done, or you're in the Northwest, there's a place down in Bootle by the docks called the 4-wheel alignment and ball joint sensor. South African fella runs it, called Peter. He did the tracking on my car for me yesterday because the steering rack off this yellow one is on my grey one, because the company who've got my steering rack can't get the bloody parts because of this COVID and this Brexit and all the other bollocks that goes along with it. My parts are stuck in a warehouse somewhere or in a container waiting to be shipped out. Okay, so I'll wind that up. I'm not going to lock them together just yet. I've got a couple of checks to do. There you go, that bottom one locks against the top and you're away. So what you can see is on the wall, you will from the bloody camera, kind of went, what are you writing on my wall for? Just here, look, 55mm I've wrote on the wall. Now what that means is, I'll show you on this one, I measured, let's just move that. I measured the threads there to the bottom of the collar. So if I wind this bottom thread up, this bottom ring up, so it's 55mm from the end of the threads, then I know the rise height and the spring is going to be exactly the same size as it was. So I'll press pause for now because I've got to find my vernier gauge. I don't know where it is. Found them, and as usual, the battery's gone flat. Just my fucking luck. Not a problem, all right? Battery's flat. We get this close enough to see. As you open it up, look, it's gone. See if I can get that to focus in a bit. It's got a ruler mark. So what I'll do is I'll just set that to 55mm, which is there. And then the gap between there and there is 55mm. And what I do is I put that like that. Now as you can see, I've got to roll up about 2 centimeters, which is about 20mm. So let's just get on with it. I've got another one of these at home in my garage. They're only cheap. Again, things like that, right? If you go to Aldi, that's right, yeah, I don't remember. Hang on. No, it's this way. If you go to Aldi or the what's the other one? Lidl. Then every now and again they have things like that in, and they're about, I don't know, they're about 6-7 quid at the most. A tenner, say they're a tenner at the very, very most. Definitely worth having, because the amount of times you go, how big's that? How big's this? And it's only small, and you're messing around with a bloody great big tape measure. Whereas with one of them, you can just set it, feel it, touch it, and know exactly to the millimetre, or the half a millimetre even, what size you're working with. So there are certain tools that are definitely worth having, and the Aldi tools, most of them are quite good. I mean, we've got sets of screwdrivers here that we use, and Allen keys, and the ratchet spanners as well. Even the ratchet spanners work really well. So it's definitely worth going and grabbing a handful of tools. You don't have to go out and spend hundreds of pounds on snap-on tools, you know what I mean? Yeah, okay, it's very nice to have a set of snap-ons, but when you lose them, you go fucking bananas. Right, and then obviously you've lost your big fucking super duper expensive piece of kit. Whereas if you lose a cheap Aldi one, do you really care? You just go back with a fucking £5 and buy another set. And so that's just me anyway. Up to now, I think I've only lost about 2 sockets, but what happened, right? I think it was the first time I used my big super duper socket set that the kids got me for my birthday. And I hadn't locked it, and I picked it up, and they fell all over the floor, and I think 2 of them fell down the grid. But the 2 that I'm missing are really, really weird sizes, like fucking 4.5mm or something like that. I don't even know what we'd used at that small. Right, so put a little bit of tension on there. Check again. Oh yeah, it's come on now. Look at that. So what we'll do, we'll check what we've got. Now at the moment, look, I'm at 41mm. So I need to come up another 14mm, which is just over 1/2 inch for you people still using old money in America. Alright, but like you say, by doing this, get in there, you bastard. By taking the measurements beforehand and winding these back to where they were, I know when I put the car back together, everything will line up pretty much perfectly with the way it was before we started stripping it. And then if I need to higher or lower the ride height in the future for any reason, all you do is you wind these little collars up and down to get to the height you need. So I'm not far off. That's cutting a lot of swarf off there. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. I think, to be honest, see that? It's probably just paint. But like you say, I'll just stick a little snot full of grease on there. Do you know what I've just thunk? Somewhere on the bench here there's a couple of, there you go, L toothbrushes. We use these for cleaning. So there you go. How easy that spins now. Just a little bit of grease on it. So we wind this up, check it again. You probably just now, because it's got grease on it, you can't grip the bloody thing. What we're going to say, yeah, we'll wind this up and we'll check where we're up to now. Alright, when you use these, before you measure anything, go back to 0 and just press the 0 button. Right, just to make sure it's 0, because what can happen is it can be there 0 and you close it and then you think you're getting a measure but you're not. In that case you'd be 9.2mm out. So you 0 it. And that there now is 50mm. So I've got to go up another 5mm, which is about, what's 5mm? I think it's 1/8 of an inch or something in old money. But this is why we prefer the metric system. Because rather than sitting there trying to go, it's fucking 27 32ths and 55 fucking 93rds and all that bollocks that you use, you can go, it's 6mm, it's 7mm, it's fucking 9mm. Right, you're not sitting there like a divvy trying to work out fractions. So that's the one. Right, have a look at that. Oops, I probably moved it. 55.5 mil. I'm half a millimeter too high. Woohoo! So there's one done. So what I'll do is I'll just pull this down a little bit. There's me half a millimeter down. And then I'll lock this one up. And then those two. That's it. They're locked up against each other. Final check. Exactly 55 mil. So, fuck me, that took 20 minutes. So now there is a fully reconditioned shocky that can go back on the car. One build, 3 more to go. I'm not going to waste your time by filming the other 3 because they're exactly the same process. I'll put that over there, then I'll wipe the oil off them and I'll fit them back on the car. So this is exciting now. Now we've got the shockies. We can fully rebuild the suspension. Once I've fully rebuilt the suspension, I can start looking at putting the engine in. But I've got other things to do to the engine. So I can go over there and we're away. So I will see you all. I'll see you all in a bit. I'm not going to do it. I'm not even going to do a time lapse on this because you've just seen me do one. So there's no point. Done. This is shocky number 4. So they're all done. The first one took, I think it was about 20 minutes. The second one took about 5 minutes. Another 5 minutes. And then this one here took about 10 minutes. So anyway, all done, all sexy, all locked up. And ready to go. So let me just move that down there and I'll show you what we've got next. Right. Shocky that one. Shocky this one. And shocky number that one. We've got 4. Now, like I say, I bought these rings off Leader. Shock absorbers, leader.com, I think the website is. Spoke to a fantabulous fella there when I put the order in. His name was Roger. Roger, thanks. And he sent me this. Decals. One of the reasons I bought the wrong rings is because I didn't know who built the bloody shockies. And I thought they were all the same size, but obviously they're not. After speaking to this guy, and he's obviously sold me the right stuff. So what he says is, we have, if I can get the fucking thing open, the decals, the stickers that go on it. So what I'll do Whoa, look at him! Right. So I've got stickers. Yeah, let's just get rid of them there, right? So, do we go with the sexy red and blue, or do we go with the black and white? Let's have a shufty. So let's just see. If I put that there like that and prop it up against, oh, hang on, lean that against the gearbox. Do we go that way? Oh yeah, I'll move my hand out of the way. Do we go like that? Or do you go like that? I'm thinking because we've gone red springs, we use the red stickers. So let's get a fresh bit of wipey stuff. And just make sure that there's no grease on here. Yeah, that was it. I'll come away. And then, once I know that that's clean, there you go. I will, oh, shit. Stick a sticker on. No, hang on, wrong one. There's nowhere else for them to go, is it? Right, hang on a minute. Suppose I should have clean hands for this, but I haven't, so we'll see. We'll see. Whoa, yeah. How sexy does that look? Is it on? It's fucking not even on straight. I will take it back off and put it on straight. Do you know what it reminds me of? Remember when we were kids and you were building them Airfix models and you were doing your Spitfire or you were doing your Lancaster Bomber or whatever it was we built when we were kids. And you'd finish it and you were sticking the transfers on. That one won't come off. I'm not going to fuck about with it. Right, that one's done. That one's a bit wonky. I'll take a bit more care of the others. Yeah, and you have. Remember you had your little bowl of water and you put that little sheet with the stickers on it and they came off in the water and then you had to pick them up and put them on the model and then obviously they dried and that and they were stuck on. That's what this reminds me of. Normally, when you're doing the cosmetic-y stuff like this, that would mean that you're almost finished, and as far as the shock absorbers go, I am. So, what I'm going to do, obviously, is refit them, but I'm not sure if that will be on this video because I'm on my own, Connor's in work, and while I'm on my own, I've got to take everything off the back of the car because it's full of stuff. Basically, when we're not working on it, we just pile everything on top of it and leave it. So it's all light. There's nothing there that's damageable, but the boot lid is in place and it's a bloody big heavy thing. Obviously, you got to be careful getting it off because I don't want to scratch the paint any more than it already is. So there you go. I'll just move the camera. Let me just take it out of its little holdy thing. 4 super duper sexy shock absorbers. Obviously that's the original ring there, the black one, and these are the new silver ones. And I've got one left because there's one on the front and I can't remember which side that we cut that off, but I'll just show you what I'm talking about. We're doing some work. I'm going to step over the fucking scooters and the trolley jacks. On the back of the car, look, there's all kinds of cack. So cardboard boxes, obviously we keep a couple of cardboard boxes for templates. I've got to do the roof lining, so cardboard box there is for the template. Oh yeah, there's another one I've got. Yeah, baby seats and baby steps. That's the steering control cable. Sorry, the gearbox control cable. See that little mark there? It's damaged. There's a brand new one in the boot. I've got a brand new one to fit. That came from Liverpool Powerboats. So that's ready to go on. But like I said, I've got to get all of this out and get all of that out to get it to shockys so I can rebuild the suspension. But we will source it. There's the wheel there on the floor. And there's the engine. So, yeah, lots to do. Let me just get back here without breaking my fucking neck on all this stuff on the floor. So, yeah, I will sort that out in a bit. I'll probably do a separate video for the next bit because I think this one's going to be about 25 minutes long up to now. So, I will see you all soon.